Hello, fellow film friends. My name is Isaac Ward, and welcome to Film Fortress. Here at Film Fortress, we discuss the latest films and let you know whether a film is worth your time and your money. Today, we will be discussing A Quiet Place Part 2, which is the long-anticipated sequel to A Quiet Place released in 2018. There will be no spoilers in this review, but there will be spoilers about the first film, A Quiet Place. Stay tuned till the end of the video to hear my rating and a phrase hinting at my next review. Now let's talk about it. A Quiet Place Part 2 was released in theaters on May 28, 2021, and it was directed by John Krasinski. Krasinski's previous work includes A Quiet Place in 2018 and The Hollers in 2016. He reportedly got triple the budget to make this film. Not only does Krasinski direct his films, but he also stars in them. He once again reprises his role as Lee in this sequel for only about 15 minutes. He knows his characters well, and he decides to focus on their evolution in this sequel. In this sequel, the monsters from the film are back and are more aggressive than the first film. Without Lee as their father, the children are forced to fend for themselves in an unforgiving world with severe consequences. This leads to some great surprises about the larger world outside of the Abbott farm that we saw in the first film. We are given information about the origin of the creatures. However, the information isn't very substantial, but that's not necessarily a bad thing for me. I enjoy the ambiguity of the history of these creatures. It lets the audience use their imagination and form their own stories about the monsters. The opening sequence of this film is phenomenal, and I would recommend the film just off of the first scene alone. As shown by the first film, high-frequency sound is used to kill the creatures. Our characters try to exploit this throughout the sequel, and we want them to succeed for their survival. Our characters are experimented in a very interesting way in this sequel. Let's talk about it. The children are given the spotlight in this film for the most part. Millie Simmons takes the lead during the film. It's always interesting to see the different feats of sound design that can be accomplished when her character is on screen. She also is a really good actor and is given an important task that pushes the story forward. Noah Jupe is also great in the film, and we often are seeing him in jeopardy and worry about his safety. Krasinski even puts the baby in danger, and that really demonstrates the resilience of the creatures in this film. I thought that Cillian Murphy was another standout character in this film. He plays Emmett, who has a history with the Abbott family. He serves as a protector to stand in for Krasinski, and this can lead to some complications. I really enjoyed where they took his character and the interactions he has with the children. Djimon Hounsou is also in the film, and he really impressed me with his performance. He gives us a new perspective on the world they are in. Emily Blunt is great as Evelyn, but she doesn't get much to do in this film. I would have liked to see her do more important things that change the story, but she still has some things to do. Overall, I really enjoyed the performances of all the actors involved in this film. Now, let's talk about the pacing and the tone. Overall, I felt like this film was paced very well. The tone is also very dark and tension is constantly around, like the first film. We are thrown right into the story when the first sequence shows the day the world went quiet. Then we are shown the aftermath of the attack on the Abbott farm from the first film and how our characters respond. Our characters are then split up and go on their own side quests. However, only one of the side quests is really integral to the overall future of the story. The other stories lead to a point where the climax can happen. However, the ending of the film was a problem for me. I needed more emotional resolution, but the film kind of ends abruptly. I felt like the jump scares were very effective in this movie, and it was gorier than the first film. Overall, I felt like this film had more jump scares, but not as much tension as the first. Nevertheless, I felt like it really connects the original and continues the story in a natural progression. Let's give it a rating. I will recommend this film for anyone who really likes the first film and wants to see the characters evolve in a satisfying way. Although the ending is a little underwhelming, it is clear that they will most likely have a part 3. So definitely go out and see this if you haven't already. I'm going to give A Quiet Place Part 2 an 8 out of 10. Thanks for visiting the Film Fortress today. What did you think of A Quiet Place Part 2? Please let me know in the comment section down below. The phrase for my next review is, a possession. Remember that your opinions matter and deserve to be valued. See you next time.